Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Hi, I am author illustrator JC Phillips. This is Boris. He wants to get down. And I am the I am the author illustrator of this graphic novel, Pacey Packer Unicorn Tracker. This is my first graphic novel with the good folks at Random House. Can you see that? That's my publisher, and I want them to be happy with me. So in this graphic novel, this is Pacey Packer. She's a 12-and-a-half-year-old girl, and she has been given the great responsibility of babysitting her little sister, Mina. But Mina wants to play tea party, and Pacey's taking her babysitting responsibilities very seriously. So she does not want to play tea party, and they get into a fight. Now, Pacey wants to make up with her sister, but when she goes up to her room, she sees that Mina is on a real live unicorn, and her stuffed animal Slasher, that's this guy right here, has come to life, and they're going to take Mina away over the rainbow to a unicorn land. So Pacey hitches a ride on the unicorn's tail until she and Slasher fall off into Rundalin, which is the land of the unicorns, and then they have to work together to get to the unicorn castle to find Mina and get her back home before the parents come home. It is an adventure story. It is full of comedy. It is full of fun creatures, and it has a lot of bickering between Pacey and Slasher the unicorn. So hopefully you'll have a lot of fun reading it. I thought what I would do is take you on a little tour of my studio and then teach you how to draw Slasher. Does that sound cool? I hope so, because that's what we're going to do. All right. And here we have my studio. So this is just a little room in my house. There's the door we just came in. And there's my futon. See, because this is the guest room when people come and stay with us. These are some masks that I've made. And we have little stuffed animals of Pacey and Slasher that I made. Sometimes I like to sit right here. This is a desk, so I can put that on my lap and I can draw. Over here I've got my bookshelves, which I'm limited to not too many in this room. I don't have space for too many, but it's good because you can get a lot of books. So I have to sort of watch myself. So at the top we have a lot of toys, little things. I've got Frog and Toad over here that I made, some puppets, some unicorns over there, other unicorn things. I've got graphic novels over here and some boxes to organize my art and stickers. This is a shelf of my books. So different copies of picture books. There's my Pacey Packer Unicorn Trackers right there. And this is a little wicker frog in which I keep gum. Here's more graphic novels, picture books, and this is a box for my cat to sleep in. Now my cats are not in here. We'll go on a cat hunt a little later. And a little toy for the cats, more books. These are books on kind of how to make different kinds of art and reference books. Over here I've got my binders of where I keep the pencil versions of the books. So there's the first Pacey Packer and there's the second Pacey Packer. And then this is a book where I keep track of all the different creatures and things like that. Here's this beautiful Sophie Blackall print that I just got that I'm really excited about. Some paper. I used to do a lot of collage art, so that's all paper. Here's another cat tree. Here, I'm going to shift over so that you can see in the light is a different corner of the room. This is all different, like when I draw all the pencils of Pacey Packer, the originals and the ink drawings. They're all in these cubbies over here. Some more boxes, some drawers. These used to be old library drawers. These are all books on writing down here. A couple more shelves. These aren't super well organized. I just didn't get around to it, guys. There's a puppet that I made in graduate school. This is a drawing that my son made when he was little. Here are lots of good pens and pencils and markers and scissors. And over here, here's a little slasher that I made from clay to be sort of a model for drawing. His head is detached so that I can turn it if I need to. Like, see, it comes right off. I'm working one-handed here, so I can't turn it as well as I would want there. So I can give him little attitude if I need to. He just helps me if I need to draw him from like a different angle, like from behind or something like that. Here's some paintbrushes. I do a lot of painting. Here's a bunch of old pictures and little things I keep around, mementos, notebooks. Here's my computer desk. I'll pull back. And then another cork board that's really overfilled with stuff, but that's about as organized as I get. Here's another cat box. I have 2 cats, and Natasha likes to sleep up here when I'm working sometime. My printer. I keep little reference photos over here because when I'm doing digital work, then it helps me to remember how tall everybody is in relation to everybody else. There's my computer. I have my drawing pad under here. My Wacom tablet. I keep the box over it so that the cats don't walk on it and get their little kitty paws on it. And then markers. This is my day planner here, which is very necessary for me to live my life. So I make little boxes and lists and check them off. And then we're back around to the front. There's boxes, there's piles in here. It's just a little room. And that is my studio. All right, now it's time to draw a slasher. So here's what you're going to need. A piece of paper, a pencil and an eraser, a black marker. Now I have 2, one for the line work and one to fill things in, but you can use just one, that's fine. Something purple. I have 3 different colored purple markers I'm going to use. Maybe you have 1. Maybe you have colored pencils. Maybe you have crayons. Whatever you have is great. And I'm going to use 1 gray marker too. You might not have one of these. That's okay. I'm just going to do it the way with the tools I have. And you guys can use the tools you have. And we're going to draw some unicorns, okay? Let's draw slasher. Okay. So with your pencil, we're going to draw kind of a large, lightly, I'm sketching, kind of a large sort of oval right around here. This is going to be like his nose area. And 2 circles sort of off to one side. And it's okay if they overlap a little bit because the top of his nose sort of cuts off an eye. Now these are just light. We're going to come up here. We're going to do his hair in 1 ear and 2 ears. And I think I have to move my paper down just a little bit, and a little horn. Now we're just sketching these shapes in right now. So we coming down over here and we round it just a little bit on the side of the cheek. So I'm actually going out a little further than the oval that I drew, but maybe your oval is right there. I think I'll come in a little bit because we're just sort of refining the shape with the pencil. Now for slasher, I do a straight line right across both those circles, and then I just sort of do his eyes dipping down below because he sort of like has a not amused face. And then we do some bigger ovals over here for the nostrils, and we're going to color those in. Okay, and then as we're coming down here, we're following the bottom of the oval, and then it sort of ends in just a tiny bit of a frown. Like he's not mad. He's maybe bored or he's annoyed or something like that. So just a little bit of a frown. Bring the cheek down a little bit more. And then I sometimes just sort of have the stomach come right out from the mouth. Now you can do a little oval, a light oval. Let's us do that. Let's make a little oval so we know where the body's going to be. He's a round little guy. Okay. So the belly's going to come out this way a little bit. And then around here, we're going to draw a line. Maybe it comes out just a little bit, but it's kind of straight. A little rounded at the bottom, and then back up to that circle. Come over here. We're drawing the legs now. Make it a little bit round. Okay, he's got his 2 legs. Let's make it so he's got his hands on his hips. So we're going to take a line. We're going to take it out at an angle and then angle it back into the body. Maybe round it right there. And then the other one comes out from this side. Take it out at an angle. Bring it back towards the body. That one's maybe overlapping the oval just a little bit and bring that back. And then behind this arm is the tail coming out. So we're going to round it and then we swoop it under and bring it around from that side and have it meet. Now, Slasher has black hooves. So you kind of have to draw the lines. And they can be a little rough because he's fur, you know, so that's okay. And we need to do the hair, the back of his mane. So that's kind of a swoop and then up. And then down and swooping up, and then down, and then swooping up, and then down. Oh, and now we have to do the heart, which of course I think is really funny because he's not the kind of guy that would want a big heart on his belly, but he still has one and he has to deal with it. Okay, so we have our pencil sketch. So now I'm going to shift over to my black brush pencil. I'm using a Tombow. Can you see that? Tombow. I'm not sure what catches in the light. This is a lovely brush pen that has just the right amount of control for me. So you might just have a Sharpie or a Crayola. Whatever you have is great. I'm just also showing you what I like to work with. I like to work with it because it can go from a fine point to a thicker one depending on how much weight I put on it. So let's do the top. I think a general rule of illustration work is the things closer to the light source you try to use a lighter line for, and the things farther away, like the bottom of his hair, you try to use a thicker line for. And then sometimes you just make your own choices. So I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to do this part, the top part, because that other eye goes behind it. I don't want it to overlap it. And now I'm coming in doing that frown. Now I can go back and get the eye and it'll fit nicely behind it, okay? I'm not going to fill in the nostrils just yet. They will be filled in, but I'm not going to worry about that just yet. And let's do this. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn it because if I tried to do it straight across, I'd probably make a mistake. Sometimes I have to turn my paper. Okay, so now I'm happy with that. And I'm just sort of I'm not filling this in because I'm leaving a little bit of light in the eye. It just makes the eyes look a little bit more alive. Sorry, I'm moving some stuff over on my table. All right, let's continue the head down. And let's push that cheek out a little bit. And I'm going to come down towards the belly. Down here. And I'm just going to overlap where the leg is just a little bit. And then pick it up over here. If you did the whole line, that would be fine. But one of the things we're doing when we ink over the pencil is we don't have to draw every line we did with the pencil. Some of those are just there to help us with the shapes. Now I am going to be a little rough with that line because again, he's fur. He's a soft stuffed animal, so it's okay to have some rougher lines on him. And I like to do the heart a little bit with some rougher lines. I usually try to do that kind of on the light side. Okay, we'll get that, and we'll try to go heavy on the bottom side and then lighten it up. And oops, those didn't touch. Sometimes they don't. Okay, and then we'll just get a little bit of this line and this line because that's his little behind. And we're going to get the tail. And again, I'm going to try to go a little thicker at the bottom and lighten it as it comes up. And then we'll do this. And swoop. And the final swoop. And the last thing I'm going to do is I just make these tiny lines in his horn, because these are supposed to be stitches, because he's a stuffed animal. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that line work on Slasher. So normally what I might do is just give it a little time to dry, and then I'm going to erase all my pencil lines. So hopefully that's enough and I don't have a big smudge. And if I do, we will deal with it. I'm going to try to start erasing gently the areas in order in which I drew them to give my ink a little bit of time to dry. I think it dries pretty fast. And I'm just using what's called an art gum eraser, which is kind of fun because I can tear it apart if I want to and play with it. I tend to like to fidget with things when I'm listening to people talk at a lecture or something like that. So I love a good art gum eraser because I can fidget with it. And it's practical. Okay, so I've erased my pencil lines and now it's time to fill in with some color. I'm going to start with my lightest purple. I'm using Copic. I actually don't know if you pronounce it a hard O or a light O. I don't think I've ever discussed it. I just draw with it. And one of the cats wants to come into the room. Well, they're just going to have to wait. Or they're going to push the door open. Let's see what they do. And that's for his eyebrow. Now I'm going to grab my other one. I'm sorry, eyelids I meant. That's what happens when I talk and draw at the same time. Sometimes I say the wrong word. And that's okay, because that's what rewrites are for. Oh, the cat has pushed the door open. You can't see it, but if a cat suddenly appears, we will know why. So I'm just filling this in. I like these markers because they have like the brush tip too. And we're doing the heart, and then we'll do the tail. There we go, down to the tail. Do you want to, here, let's go visit my cat for a second. Hey, Boris. Hey, buddy. How's it going? What you doing over there? Boris, what's up, bud? Hi. Hi. Okay, back to drawing. That was our drawing intermission cat break. I think it's really important to have cat breaks every now and then. Okay. All right, so that's all colored in. Now I've got my final purple, which is a little darker, and I'm going to do shadows kind of at the bottom just to give it a little bit more dimension. Tighter to the body and just at the bottom of the hair. And you might not have a darker purple. This might not be a part that you do, and that is totally fine. But I'm just showing you in case you do have a darker purple and you're not sure what to do with it. Okay, great. If you want to put a teeny tiny little bit around there, you can. Okay, and then I'm going to take my gray. Hello. And kind of do the same thing where there would be a shadow between the eyes, under here, maybe under the horn. I'm going to put a little bit of gray. The sun, let's say that he's under a lamp or the sun or something like that. So the sun wouldn't get necessarily to the bottom parts of his body. It'd just be a little shadow. Okay, not too much. And now we're going to fill in the nostrils and the hoofs. And this is just a Sharpie. I'm just sort of being careful, trying not to go over my line work. This is where your coloring books have trained you well to stay within the line. And we're just going to get the bottom, get a little sloppy in the middle. I get sloppy in the middle sometimes, and then I try to be a little bit more careful by the edges. And there we go. Okay, I think we're done. Now you can, some people like to color in the horn. Sometimes I color in yellow, sometimes I leave it white. That's completely up to you. So there we have it. You've drawn Slasher. Hi. Thanks so much for joining me. This is Natasha. So we're saying goodbye. Have a great day. And make sure you check out Pacey Packer Unicorn Tracker wherever books are sold. Thanks. Bye. You gonna say bye? You gonna get there?